I'm Jane Abbott and I'm the Hospital Director of Benenden Hospital. So Benenden Hospital was founded in 1907 as a tuberculosis sanatorium, and it looked after post office workers from all over the country, and it was the only hospital of its type at that period. And over the years it's slowly changed. So as the NHS was introduced in 1948, we had to start rethinking what we were doing. Then we introduced chest services and cardiac services, and then gradually we've introduced more general surgery as such. So from the 1990s onwards, we did all types of surgery, gynecology, general surgery, but alongside that we also did a lot of the medical specialties, and we did a lot of diagnostic investigations. So we've then evolved further, and since around the mid-2000s we've focused very much on doing day case surgery primarily. That's about 80% of our business, but we also do short stay patient surgery. So Benenden Healthcare, I keep saying so, don't I? I apologise. Benenden Healthcare Society was founded in 1905, and it was around post office workers. And the original idea was from Charles Garland, who was a worker within the post office. And he recognised that tuberculosis was highly prevalent among the post office, primarily from people spitting and it being picked up on the sacks. So what he wanted to do was provide a way of delivering care to those individuals, and there wasn't any sort of NHS service at that time. So he talked to bosses at the post office, and the concept of Benenden Health came about, and it was primarily people paying a very small subscription on a weekly basis, not on the basis that they would then access the healthcare, but on that they were doing it on a mutual, an altruistic basis. So they were paying in for healthcare that they may or may not need, but it would be for the benefit of their colleagues and their friends. So it was an amazing concept, which exists still today. Now it's evolved further, and Benenden Health membership is open to everybody, and we at Benenden Hospital look after those Benenden members, but we've also expanded what we do, and we look after people who are able to pay for the hospital services. They come through the private medical insurance route, or they're from the NHS, so we can offer healthcare to everybody. Benenden Hospital is an amazing organisation because we are very lucky, and I'm very privileged to lead a team of people who are kind, caring, committed, dedicated, and will always go above and beyond to make sure the patient and their loved one who's with them will always have the best experience that we can possibly deliver. One of the ways that the hospital is successful is that we have very strong engagement from our staff as to what we're doing as part of our business plan and our strategy for delivery. We have 3 strategic goals which are around growth, excellence and efficiency, and they're all interwoven really. You can't deliver on excellence if you are not deliver on growth and efficiency, so they all come together. But excellence for me, given that I'm a nurse by background, is absolutely fundamental. I want to know that every patient who comes through our door gets the best care that we can possibly deliver, and we are completely patient focused. So in terms of delivering on excellence, what we want to make sure is that every patient who comes through our door has the best possible experience, and everything we do is the patient is at the heart of it. The hospital was a TB sanatorium, and part of the reason that it was founded as a sanatorium and located here was because it's a beautiful location within the Kent countryside, just a couple of miles from Benenden village. We're surrounded by acres of greenery, which creates a really therapeutic and calming environment. And that means that every patient who walks through our door, almost from the moment they park their car in our car, and we've got multiple places of car parks out here, which is all free for the individuals coming here. They walk in, they're greeted by our receptionist, and there's always a smile on their face, and they walk into our atrium, which again is very large, it's very spacious, it's very bright. The whole design of that, which has won awards for its therapeutic and calming environment it creates, everything about it is the furniture is all in curves, the flooring is all designed in curves, there are colours that are used on the furniture that were chosen by all of our staff, and it's recognised through research that's been done that if you create curves in a hospital environment, it reduces anxiety, it reduces tension, reduces aggression, and just makes you feel a lot more better about the environment you've come into. Well, I'm very proud to be standing in Edna's Retreat, which is our sensory garden. And it came about from Edna Winter, who was a member of Benenden Health, who had a savings scheme that matured, and she gave the hospital that money to create a sensory garden. Edna had come to the hospital over many, many decades, from the time that we were a TB sanatorium, and recognised that creating an environment where patients and their relatives could come and sit and have quiet time and just to reflect on how unwell they were, what they were going to do to get better, better, how their family were, all the things that trouble people when they're in hospital. So she worked with our head gardener at the time to create this beautiful location. And for staff and patients, it's an amazing place to come and sit all times through the year. It's absolutely amazing, and what an incredible gift for someone to give us. Right now I'm standing in Edna's retreat, which came about through a donation from one of the Benenden Health members called Edna Winter, who had a savings scheme which matured, and she gave us that money to create this therapeutic, amazing environment. Well, all healthcare facilities, which includes hospitals, GP practices, hospices, are regulated by the Care Quality Commission within England. There are different regulatory bodies in other parts of the United Kingdom, and we are required to have inspections on a periodic basis. During 2017, the hospital was in the middle of a development project to create our amazing facilities that we have here, and the Care Quality Commission came to inspect us. And they did that over an announced visit and an unannounced visit. And that includes talking to staff, talking to relatives, talking to consultants, looking at all the feedback and the information that we've acquired over the years from patients talking to us. They looked at our facilities, they looked at our processes, they looked at our policies. They literally look at everything, because what they want to have is assurance that we are a safe facility for patients to come into. And it was one of the proudest moments of my career when we received an outstanding rating. And what was so important for me in that is that they look at a number of areas about, are we caring, are we responsive, are we effective, are we safe, and are we well led. And two of those domains in particular, well led and caring, we received outstanding ratings for. And that, particularly the one around being caring, that reinforces the fact that our staff go above and beyond and do the absolute best for every patient who walks through our door. So it was a real privilege to get that rating. And we also need to remember that actually only about 8% of hospitals within England, so only about 8% of hospitals within England actually received an outstanding rating. And given that at the time we were also on a building site, what an amazing achievement. The Care Quality Commission is the regulatory body for England, which provides assurance around the delivery of healthcare services through hospitals, GP practices, hospices, etc. And they came and visited the hospital in 2017, and we received an outstanding rating on the back of that visit. Only about 8% hospitals did receive that rating, which makes us extremely special. Benenden Hospital has existed for well over 100 years, and you can only continue to succeed as a hospital if you are changing what you do and how you deliver your healthcare practices during that time. So we've gone from being a TB sanatorium to a hospital that's leading the way in terms of ophthalmology services and orthopaedic services, and we will continue to evolve, but we will never lose sight of delivering excellent care to our patients. Benenden Hospital has been in existence for over 100 years, and no hospital can continue to deliver services for that amount of time without changing and respecting and recognising how healthcare has evolved during that time. And we've always embraced that change and been very proud to deliver it. But always we will remember that we have to put the patients at the heart of what we do and deliver excellent care. Benenden Hospital is situated in acres of beautiful Kent countryside, and it's one of the most stunning locations you'll find in the country. Patients are always very anxious when they come into the hospital, and one of the things that was important for us when we were designing our entrance was that patients would come in to an atrium which has won awards for being such a therapeutic environment. And we've taken into account creating furnitures that have curves, the flooring has curves, the colours are calm but also bright, and create a wonderful environment for people to come into. And it's well known that actually within a hospital setting, curves reduce anxiety, reduce tension, reduce aggression. And if you're worried, that's what you want to do. You want to feel that you're really safe when you walk through the door, and that's what we've delivered. Patients, when they come into hospital, are often really quite worried and quite anxious, and we took that into account when we were creating our entrance and then the atrium that people walk into. So what we did was we looked at the things that make people quite anxious and worried about coming into hospital. So we've created an environment where there are curved furniture, there's curves on the floor, there are lovely colours that were chosen by our staff, so staff played a part in the design. And by putting in curves, you help reduce anxiety, you reduce tension, you reduce aggression, and you just you might help people feel just a little bit calmer before they have their consultation, their test or their operation.